Hi, I'm Angela, and welcome to my channel, Befriend and Tend. Gratitude practices have been around for a while because it's pretty much common knowledge that experiencing gratitude makes you happier. A lot of gratitude practices end up being a little rote and maybe even a little bit cliche. People will usually express gratitude for the big things like my health, my family, my job, and those are all good and important things to appreciate. But you can enliven your gratitude practice by starting to pay attention to and notice the little things. A lot of times we really live in our heads. We are thinking about things we have to do in the future. We are worrying or feeling guilty about things from the past, and we aren't fully enmeshed in the present moment. I like to think of children and babies and how they are so engaged in the present moment and the world. If you've ever tried to go on a walk with a toddler, you know exactly what I mean. They are looking at everything. They are seeing and noticing and processing the visual stimuli around them. This concept is also illustrated in one of my favorite movies, Soul. The protagonist in this movie is feeling bad about his life because he never had his big moments. And then near the end of the movie, when he's examining the items that someone else who was a visitor to Earth thought were important about his day, he realizes that it's a regular old living that is what matters. And that's really good news, right? Because regular old living is available to all of us. So how do you do this? The first thing when you're moving out and about in the world is to really focus on your five senses, or at least check in with your five senses on a regular basis and notice what you're experiencing. What are you seeing? What are you smelling? What are you tasting? What are you hearing? What are you feeling? And then notice whether anything is giving you that little chemical boost, a little spark of joy or delight or peace. Another thing I like to do is ask myself, what's going right now? And sometimes the answers are really surprising. Like, I really like to ask that question when I'm having a crappy day. And there was this one time when I made myself a toaster strudel, and I don't know if you've ever had one of those, but they're actually pretty good. Now, I'm not going to talk about the nutritional value. They're probably terrible for you, but I just felt really grateful that for a couple of dollars, I was able to have a box of these things in my freezer. And then I started thinking about all the technology that was required to create this toaster strudel, like to get the cream cheese and the strawberry inside, and then all of the systems that make it possible for me to purchase this toaster strudel. And it just really, I became overwhelmed with a sense of gratitude. And I think little things can sort of snowball like that and can really be helpful. Another thing I like to do is just think about the connections I have in my life and the people that I know and the people that I've met and how they have had an impact on me, how they've influenced me, especially those people who let us know that they love us or that they appreciate the things that we do. But sometimes I also like to lean into the idea of feeling grateful for people who make the world a little better because they were in it. I can really feel gratitude to someone who makes a TikTok video that makes me laugh, or who writes a book that makes me feel or think, or who creates art that's really beautiful and moves me, or who writes songs that I want to sing to. I like that idea of leaning into feeling grateful for other people, and even people who don't do big things, like the grocery store clerk who smiles when he bags my food. I mean, there are so many people doing ordinary good things that help the world feel a little better. Okay, so once you start noticing and feeling grateful for all these things, then what do you do next? Well, the first thing is to really pause and savor it, to let that feeling really settle. And sometimes that's enough. I mean, you can just feel it and be glad and let it go. And sometimes I like to pull out my camera and take a picture of it. I've mentioned in another video that I've been making these little chat books, and there's like 30 pictures that you can put into each book, and I've been filling them with things that have given me a sense of gratitude or made me feel a little bit of joy. The other thing you can do is write these things down in a gratitude journal. And the great thing about these little joys is that they're so specific and so unique. So write about them with a lot of detail. Really try to recall the thoughts that you had when you were feeling this sense of gratitude. As Marie Forleo says, the dividends are in the details. And the final tip is to go back through your gratitude journal or your joy books, especially when you're feeling a little discouraged. Gratitude is such a simple thing, but it can really have a tremendous impact on your life, helping you feel better, happier, more peaceful and content. And this is not to say that you should be ignoring all of the problems in the world. I mean, it's not a binary choice. You don't have to either be grateful and happy or miserable and think the world sucks. I mean, it's both true. There's evidence for both in the world. And since we are, normal human beings, we're going to experience both. I just think it's really important to notice the things that are good and going well. So anyway, I hope you found something interesting or useful in this video. And if you did, please let me know by hitting the like button. I'll see you next week.